every day making the choice to be courageous over being comfortable.
With that message, keynote speaker Brene Brown inspired thousands of talent development professionals at the ATD 2016 Conference and Exposition. I'm Rachel Kopchak, and you're watching ATD TV. To be a great leader takes courage, but with courage comes vulnerability. Today's general session speaker, Brene Brown, says vulnerability is not a weakness. You just have to know your values.
Vulnerability is not the center of just difficult emotion. It's the center of all of the things we want more of in our cultures and what we want more of in our leaders. Adaptability to change, ethical decision making, trust, innovation, creativity, the ability to have hard conversations, to give and receive feedback. All of those are grounded in vulnerability.
A lot of the actions that we take, we think are just maybe, self-esteem or different things, but it all comes down to vulnerability and then tied back to it is courageous. I'm going to start making videos that show some of the vulnerabilities of our leaders to connect with the front line of our employees to be able to take those actions.
One way I can be more vulnerable is when I approach someone to give them feedback. I think, sharing something vulnerable about myself can help maybe make them, feel like they can share more, and it also just creates the right environment.
If we could just be honest with each other about, here's what I heard, right? Here's what I think I heard. Here's the story I'm telling myself. Is this true? Is this correct? I think that's what I'd really like to bring back.
Collaboration was key at the ATD Forum series, where attendees experienced an interactive approach to learning. During Design Thinking Meets Learning Challenges Head-On, attendees used the Rosebud Thorn method to solve problems. The rose, or pink sticky note, is for issues or ideas that are positive. The bud, or green sticky note, is for ideas that have potential to be more positive than negative. The thorn, or blue sticky note, is for ideas that are negative or challenging.
They're going to take a new idea and a new thought back to their workplace around coming up with solving issues and solving problems and designing learning and development around this whole method called Rosebud Thorn. And they can immediately implement this into how they go about assessing a project.
A lighthearted session took a serious look at coaching. Coaching is a foundational skill for all managers and leaders. And this speaker says great coaching can happen in less than 10 minutes with some simple questions, which attendees practiced on each other. They asked, "What's on your mind?" Followed up with, "What's the real challenge for you?" Then asked, "And what else?" And finally, "What do you want?" This approach will uncover deeper issues that prevent people from doing great work. With over 400 companies here in the Expo Hall, there is a lot to see. That's why I'm here to take you on a little tour. I hope you got your walking shoes on. If leadership is your passion, you have access to representatives on site who can answer any of your questions.
The training, all the training companies I think our company will be buying a couple of them. This is good. Any HR and training person needs to come.
If it's learning technologies that you're looking for to implement into your business, there's no better place to test drive the top technologies available to you.
I think a lot of vendors that are really embracing technology. I've seen a lot of information about mobile technology and how it affects learning development moving forward.
So learning can be fun, and why not have a little fun on the expo floor? You'll also find solutions to any of the challenges you may be facing, whether that may be mobile learning or training reinforcement. Virtual training is becoming more popular in talent development. The biggest benefit, workers do not have to leave their workspace. Here's ATD press author and virtual training expert Cindy Huggett.
So for the learner, bite-sized learning, smaller chunks of learning, able to be at their desk in the workplace learning is a huge, tremendous benefit, and that's going to just continue to explode and increase over the next few years.
Keeping employees engaged when using a virtual platform doesn't have to be difficult. In the Learning Technologies track, attendees learned the best practices to get people to interact and how to hold their attention.
Design for what they're doing rather than what you're saying. You can't lose. Just really learn the technology, play with it, figure out what it can do. Do I have a whiteboard? Do I have a chat? What is that? How do I use it so I can connect with people and see what they're there for and how we can help them?
Attendees gained insight from global leaders and discovered creative ways to build talent development framework that fits any organization. The framework is organized in a puzzle graphic. It allows individuals to take a look at the different functions in their profession and arrange them as they see fit. Now, there are 15 core functions such as training delivery and instructional design, as well as an outer layer of functions. Groups of TD professionals had a tactile experience and built their own framework in real time with puzzle pieces and real-life scenarios. Plus, you can build one for your own company online at puzzle.td.org. Those 15 primary functions that you need to build your talent development framework are also available right here in ATD Central in actual pin form to help you identify the colleagues that you want to network with. Puzzles are one effective learning tool, but all learning games are beneficial because it breaks down any resistance. When you put someone in a fantasy or game environment, it lowers their defenses and makes them more open to learning.
We know that people learn best from failure, and games celebrate failure and allow failure to happen. Most traditional learning looks down on failure, but games actually encourage failure.
There is no one best type of learning game. The game that you're going to choose should depend on what you're trying to help people learn. So, for example, if we want somebody to remember information, we might try for recall games, games on matching, games that help build long-term memory. But if we're trying to build skill and give people opportunities to practice, then we might build something that's a more robust simulation.
At ATD Expo, more than 24 companies were recognized for their excellence in practice. These prestigious ATD awards recognize results achieved through the use of practices and solutions in all fields of talent development. The Denver Art Museum is playing host to the ATD networking event. It's an evening full of artistry and, of course, connecting with your peers. How are you doing today, Mona Lisa?
I'm gonna tell you, I'm a little off the wall today. You have to forgive.
From live painting to live art and even ancient art, it was all here at the Denver Art Museum at the ATD networking event sponsored by Litmus.